All right. Well, Canada, there is a new e-bike in town, and I've had it for 195 kilometers. About 3 weeks, and these are my thoughts of it. So we'll start with the unboxing experience. Okay, before we get to the unboxing experience, I actually just finished this edit and I realized I didn't talk about something that's like bigger than the bike, and I wish I had known when I was buying it because I waited for a long time with it. And that's how Lectric does their pricing for their bikes. What I've learned, this is a Canadian experience. You go to the website and there's always deals. There will always be a deal, but the base price of the bike never changes. The savings that you get is just not having to buy the accessories. So technically it is a savings, but the base price of the bike is always the same. You will always pay the base price of whatever it is for the bike. The savings that you see is just in accessories. So if you're holding off because you see a bigger savings or you want a bigger savings, but you already have the accessories that you would be saving, you're not actually going to be saving money on the bike by waiting later. I hope that makes sense. I waited a long time because I didn't know that, and then I ended up just getting the same deal that you probably will get anyway. So I paid $2,000 for the 750 and I got $500 in savings. Some of it's necessary, some of it's not. That's all I wanted to say. The rest of the video addresses my experiences with the actual bike and some problems that I do have with it that I still have to figure out. Back to it. So we'll start with the unboxing experience, and it was wonderful. This was clean. I like how everything was packaged with cardboard and things that could be recycled, with the exception of maybe 2 zip ties or 3 zip ties. I got the spring-loaded seat and this comfort seat. Probably the easiest thing ever to take out of the box. Okay, maybe not the easiest thing ever, but still very great. Delivered right to my door, very fast. 10 out of 10 on the delivery process. Got room for one more if you still want to go to Aspen. Okay, let's talk about battery life, because I think that is the thing, at least in my opinion, that everyone wants to know about electric bikes. So far, I have taken it on one really big test. I've made a video about it. By the time this one is live, that one also might be live, so you can check that out. Bike battery information so far. Just crossed the first 10% of the battery. 18.9 kilometers, 14 to go. 7.5 kilometers to go. First big hiccup with this plan. I think I can do this. Oh. Google Maps said 2.5 hours to get here. I just hit the 50% battery marker. This does not feel what it feels like when the battery has like 60%. Oh, standing's worse. The Coles notes of my biggest ride are that I have been able to go 63 kilometers in a very hilly terrain through Vancouver and North Vancouver, and I still had somewhere just around under 20% battery life. I weighed probably in total, what would I say, 195 pounds. Far cry from the 137 kilometers that they tout. I wish they didn't market it that way, because I'm sure that is like the lightest adult rider possible on the easiest terrain possible on the eco setting the entire way. It's a bit misleading, but I guess technically possible. My everyday ride is about 20 kilometers in total to and from work. And I can go about 3 days without charging. I could probably stretch that to 70, 80, maybe even 90 kilometers if I was trying to conserve power. And that's riding pretty hard using sport. I'll get into that in a second, but using the sport mode for the uphill and then the tour mode for the casual downhill. I think I'm pretty impressed overall with the amount of distance I'm able to cover on a single charge. And in a real world application, just got smacked by a bug. In a real world application, this is absolutely what I wanted it for, and I am not disappointed in its capacity, its capabilities at all. And next is my first ride experience. 0 kilometers, 0 ride time at all. Power up, eco. Oh yeah. All right. Holy smokes, that's got some pep. We're taking it nice and easy. I wanted a nice place to start this whole experience. I don't know what that sound is. I think something's clicking on the chain. So Strava says I'm going 12 to 13 and this says 11. Don't mind me. Oh, that's normally very uncomfortable on the previous bike I had. Let's get up to the high gear here. A little bit of clanky, uncomfortable feeling in the pedals on gear 7. Very silent motor. High traffic, let's get into, holy crap, Sport Plus, oh my God. Wow. It's pulling all the way through. I don't know what class setting I have it on, but I'm pretty sure I put it on the highest. And yes, I did have the classification at class 3, which technically isn't allowed. Hill, oh my God. Oh, I made it up that like nothing. My impressions after 15 minutes and 52 seconds of riding are overwhelmingly positive so far. I do think I didn't bring pliers. I do want to change the angle of the seat, but people online have been talking about how there's better suspension seat posts out there. If there are, it must feel like a cloud because this, compared to nothing, is incredible. Plus, I think it's got some additional shock absorbing built into the seat itself. So the bumps that I went on compared to the Envo Flex Urban that I had for 2 weeks before it had I had some challenges. I made another video about that experience. Buyer beware. But so far, everything about this bike compared to my only other electric bike is so far superior. And from that first ride, nearly 200 kilometers later, I've tightened things back up. Everything's been great. I've had it tip over once because my pannier just today. Other than that, it's been fantastic. Okay, I think I'm getting all the GPS data. I've got that screwed on. I've got that screwed on. Everything should be safe. I'm gonna do this in Sport Plus mode, so level 4. I don't really know how to prepare for this. I've never done it yet. We'll wait for cars. That's a wise call. I'm too hot to wait around, so we're off. Let's just see what this feels like. Okay, Sport Plus, 8th gear. That's not smart. 6th gear. Okay, here we go. What do you got for me, Sport Plus? Wow, so much easier. It is pulling 1100 watts. I'm giving it 80. I want to do this test sitting down. Just one hand, no problem. Okay, right here, when I'm going down this hill, this morning I was going 51 kilometers an hour with no pedal assist. 52, 53, 54, this is 57. This is my favorite part of the ride. Just to give a sense of how downhill it is. Oh, speed bump. I normally avoid those. Yeah. Okay. And going up this hill, this is still like the easy part. Legs are burning a little bit, but it's still giving me pretty much everything I need to keep going. Whew. This is it. We're like halfway, I think. Okay. Still going 22 kilometers an hour. I have to say this is infinitely easier than the Envo I had, which is my only comparison. I'm always having to stand up on the other bike and be in like first or second gear, and I'm in sixth gear sitting down the whole time, talking, which I don't normally do because I am normally ready to throw up. So I have no idea what the information on that was. It feels like about a 90-degree incline for about 35 minutes, but reality is probably like maybe 8 degrees overall for like 3 minutes. Just pushed me up the whole way. 6th gear of 8. That test should be the only reason why you never buy a front hub motor or a front wheel motor unless you absolutely have to. That rear motor, it really does make a huge difference where your energy is coming from, where the push is coming from. What did that take? My heart rate never got above 130. I don't know what to say. That was effortless. I also have a huge bag with me today. Just stopped at Costco. And now for the negatives. I would be completely disingenuous if I said that there were no negatives or things that I wish were different. And this is very subjective. This is my experience as a 5'11" 3/4" rider with using it primarily for commuting purposes. Oh, that's very windy. I'm gonna wait till I have less wind smashing me in the face. All right, we've got some coverage from these trees. So the first thing that I genuinely dislike, I might even go so far as to say the design feature I hate about this bike, is where the key is to unlock the battery so you can take it out. It's put on the inside of the fold, and I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to try and get the key into that space. My solution would be to put it on the other side so it's on the outside when it's folded. The reason is it's so frustrating is because you have to put the key in, turn the key, which lowers the bolt, which keeps the battery in place, and then you take the key out. So to put the battery in, you have to do vice versa. You have to slide the battery in, so the bike already has to be pre-folded to some extent, and then you have to put the key in, turn it to put the pin in. It's possible, and I do it every time with a little bit of gritting in my teeth. I just don't understand why they have to do that. I would say my other dislikes about the bike so far are what I would call preferences. So in the controller, in the modes, the levels 1 to 5, or Eco, Tour, Sport, Sport Plus, and Turbo, I'm in Sport right now, and the jump from Sport to Tour or Tour to Sport feels like an unnecessary jump, because I honestly don't know any difference between Sport and Sport Plus. To me, there is no difference. They feel exactly the same. And then when you go to Turbo, it feels incredible. But when you go from Tour to Sport, I don't really want that big of a jump. I just want a little kick. Like, give me a 10% boost instead of what feels like 20%. And I would also be able to manage my battery better that way. Maybe that can be changed in the software update. Maybe you can change that in your settings. I honestly haven't looked into that as of yet. So maybe that's possible. I'm not fully sure, but the jump from Tour to Sport just feels not quite right. The next thing that's a little weird or annoying is the chain tension. Right from the beginning, the chain tension is loose enough that it catches and it hits right below, which is making that part of the frame really greasy, and over time I'm sure going to damage it. So I have to figure out a solution to maybe 3D print something. I thought of maybe using some like tennis racket tape or cover and taping that area. I don't know why there isn't some provision there and why the chain is so loose. I don't feel like it has to be. I don't really know bikes that well anymore. Oh, yeah, that hill still kills me. Oh yeah, right. My other complaint or annoyance, the bike is small. The bike is smaller than other electric bikes, and that's a pro. But there's cons that come with it. And this con is that if you pedal, like I like to pedal pretty consistently, I don't like to, oh shoot. I don't want to stop pedaling. I just kind of like to cruise with it. And if you like to ride that way, be very aware that if you do that, if you pedal and turn and lean too much, which is not very much, your pedal will scrape the ground. Wow. Oh shit. Okay. So, pedals are very low. Do not pedal while turning. I have scraped the crap out of these pedals. Both sides, left and right, because I just haven't learned my lesson, and I don't want to learn that lesson because it's fun. It's nice to pedal. I like pedaling through the corner. Pedal assist feels really nice, so I don't want to stop pedaling. But if you do, you scrape the pedal. So be very aware of that. Okay, and this section is my accessories. All the pieces I've added to this bike to make it work for me the way I have. What I have installed is a bar extender, so I can put my mount for my tripod on here and the cell phone holder. I got a nice cell phone holder that is almost too tight. It holds the phone too much. It's hard to take it off. I got two really convenient side mirrors that I really like. They are super small, not for everyone, but they fold in. So they completely disappear when I fold it up. I love it. You can change the angle. You can totally see everything. I just installed this bell that I got in blue to match the color of the bike. It's loud enough. It does the job. It fits, it squeezes in there just about perfectly. I have recently just installed a back bike rack. Rack assembly complete. Actually, not that difficult to do. That I got, everything will be linked below. I have two locks. I got the one lock that came with the bike, and I bought an ABUS one so I can link them together for extra security. They've been everything I need so far. I haven't installed I don't know where to install it, that's the problem. I got a motorcycle holder so I can mount my big extended tripod, but it's overkill. I have to figure out how to mount it. That's not for everyone. And the other thing is a ball joint clamp holder for other devices like my drone remote, so I can fly a bit better while biking. And those are my accessories so far. I will be adding to it over time. If you got any suggestions, you let me know. And this section here, this last one, is kind of my miscellaneous section because it's just a bit of everything else that doesn't fit into the other categories very well. First is that I have a little bit of a wobble in my back tire. It might be the bearings, it might be something else, it might be the axle. Watch this shaft. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera or not. I think because of it, the sensitivity of the derailleur is maybe off because the chain links on the sprockets move. So I'll be biking, and I noticed this when I did my big test. And if I hover anywhere from now 6th gear down to 1, it will just randomly change gears without me asking for it. I will not change gears, but it will slip. And I think it's because the wobble. So that's a little bit of an annoying thing. I haven't really seen much about it online. It might just be a mine issue. That's a bit of a looming uncertainty for me. And then this thing is big. This is a weird design flaw of some sort that I learned the hard way. One morning I woke up and I had lost all pedal assist. I had no pedal assist function, but the throttle still worked. And so I posted onto the group I'm a part of other electric riders, and no one really had this exact problem, but someone did mention that it looked like I was pulling the brakes. Now I wasn't pulling the brakes, But that did make me realize that the night before I had installed my bell. And by doing that, I also changed the angle of my brake lever, my left and right brake lever. So I went and inspected. That was enough. Only by doing that, it tripped the system to think I was engaging the brakes. Yesterday, I put this bell in, and I also dropped the brakes to a more ergonomic position. Now, what I realized is that with the brake lever down there, the brake light turns on. When I rotate this up again to where it was before, the brake light is off. I think my problem is something in the front brake lever at this point. Weird. Now, I did email Lectric about the brake lever or pedal assist issue. They still haven't gotten back to me at all. I emailed 2 different email addresses, which is a little suspect. Not very impressed by that. I've heard their customer service is very great. I haven't experienced that yet, and I haven't needed to rely on it yet. So I don't have a definitive answer as to whether you can trust their customer service or not, especially being Canadian. So my final takeaways on the bike. I have to say, it has really matched and exceeded my expectations in spite of all this. I don't expect a bike to be flawless and perfect. It's gonna have preferences that I don't have because it has to serve more people. I get that. And I have no complaints about recommending this bike to anyone. It's been reliable once I figured out the brake lever thing. Ooh, the farmer's market is getting set up. I will be going back to this later today. Oh, 4 seconds. We gotta make it. That's about it for this ride and this initial review. Thanks for watching.